I was expecting a press conference. Welcome to the
Tom Schwartz, you ready to go?
Brad, before we look forward at LAFC, just looking back on Houston, any thoughts from? I'm sure you've viewed the game.
Yeah, just as positive as directly after the game. You know, we knew for many moments we played our style, and we knew that's a challenge for us with the way they are playing in the current form they were in. And, you know, I've never got results there previously, so it's never been an easy place to play at, and especially this season, and especially under Ben Olsen. So, you know, while I haven't looked back too much, you know, like you said, looking forward is way more important right now. But again, really proud of the way we rallied at the end of the game. I thought we played a great first half. Unfortunate to go behind just before the half ended. So nothing's changed.
Well, then looking forward, you like a chance, a game 1 versus 2, you versus LAFC, big showdown in the Western Conference?
Yeah, I mean, if we take it 1 versus 2, you know, then we would forget our story for the last 10 months, 8 months, 9 months, right? So it just so happens you keep your head down, you work hard, believe in yourself, believe in your system, believe in your teammates, and that's what can happen 1 versus 2, right? So this is just for us another part of our journey. You know, everything's in our hands. It's in our control, and yeah, we know what we have here at CITYPARK with our fans, and we expect a performance from our group that validates, warrants where we are and why we are there, and why we've garnered the support of the whole of the city.
Real quick, looking back at the goal scored at Houston, a lot of your success obviously has come from intercepting possession and pushing it, and this was kind of different. Can you describe maybe the flow of that goal and what it means to you to see everybody touch the ball?
Yeah, it's really good. I see it as playing with urgency. I know somewhere in between there was a free kick. We get it. We play with urgency, right? So besides 8 out of 10 players touching the ball, I think it was, Tom, 10 out of 10? Yeah, so, I mean, that's pretty incredible, right? And it's incredible to the players. We look to grow, right? We don't believe we're the finished product yet. We believe in our principles, and with the ball principles also apply. So to see that in full effect was pretty cool. And I think we've scored a couple of goals, and we've had some great build-out moments through the season. And yeah, we've been really dangerous. Think about the Colorado goal that goes all the way from Roman all the way through, and we score a goal just after half-time, right? So we've had many different weapons in our toolbox, and we've used those at different times, but proud of the group.
Coach, at this point in the season, how important is it to have played all the players that you have played?
Yeah, you have to be ready, right? And whether, you know, I won't say that was too much by design preseason, but it just gave the way the style we played, the hand we were dealt, the injuries, you know, I think we're the 3rd best team in terms of injury prevention in the league. But, you know, the blows we were dealt, we managed to make a way and find a way. And then the scheduling, the congestion and what have you, we managed to find a way too. And just when we were in a slight sort of, I would say, a little bit of a rut, we get a team out in San Jose who are full of young guns and flying, right? So, and then we turn that game, and then we go on to Toronto, get results there, and then we had a nice stretch of games where we went 5 out of 6, I believe, or something like that. So, you know, we've been able to get guys going, you know, but it's credit to the boys for being ready all the time. You have to be ready within our style of play, with the exertion we put on the players, with the exertion we put on the opponent. We utilize the time and space accordingly, and see different weaknesses during games, in games, and pre-games. We try and plan accordingly. So, you know, it's best served to be ready in our group.
And you mentioned the story, your story, our story. Where are you now as opposed to where your thoughts were at the beginning of the season? In the beginning of the season, you're thinking, well, by the end of the season, this will be our story. How radically different, or how straight down the line, this is where you thought you were going to be? Yeah,
I think we've always had belief. I think we've seen with the City 2 program that we put out last year, with the roots we embedded in the academy, with the success that they've garnered, you know, to get through to playoffs and, you know, get through to conference finals and so on. I think, you know, the whole club has adopted the style of play really, really well. So to see it now happen at City 2, and now to see it follow through, it's almost like, yeah, it's part of the plan, right? But we know the stakes are higher the levels you go up, right? But to have the belief and a buy-in and a collective that we always preach about, you know, we always just wanted to be competitive. We always thought if we scratch playoff spots, this will be amazing, right? So, But then there becomes a hunger within the group for more. There comes a desire to prove people wrong. I think that's out the window and done a long time ago, to prove people wrong, right? So now it's what we can prove to ourselves, and how far we can push this.
Frank?
Coach, I know you talked on Saturday night about Klaus for quite a bit, but I'm wondering, is there, do you believe the theory that goal scorers are born, not made? And is there just some type of inherent trait or some chromosome in him that's not in all soccer players?
No, I mean, I don't think you want to do it as granular as that, right? I think all attackers have a flair and an excitement to get in and around the 18-yard area and to make clinical plays and crucial plays. Klaus just has that knack to be in the right place at the right time. But if you think about the system we've adopted, we would be saying that if Klaus was the only one scoring goals, right? Or if he was the only one getting into these moments. But then, Klaus falls out from, 4 months, and then we get Nico to pick up the reins and run with it. So the system is intact. And then, Joa damages his shoulder, and then we get Sam going. So, 24 goals from our 3 strikers are pretty good returns. But what's even more crucial is the guys staying hungry, right? The guys knowing that, all right, I might play this game, but I better be ready. And if I come on, I better make a play. If I start, I gotta do the business. And if I don't come on from the bench, they have to do the business too. So, and that's not easy. It's not easy from a mentality standpoint to be ready off the bench, because, we're all ego driven. We're all professionals. We all want to play, make difference, make our families proud. But being a good teammate comes first in a team sort of first mentality. But listen, credit to those 3 guys for keeping a connection going with themselves.
And as a coach, with all that talent and with guys all having success in the same season, how do you, is it part psychologist, because you got a lot of egos, not that you guys have big egos, but you got to make everybody happy here.
Yeah, you ride the waves, right? And you know which moments to intervene, which moments to let flow. I've had a lot of dictator coaches in my life as a player. And in my opinion, it's not the right way. It's an unhealthy way, right? Because that's short-term success. If you try and build relationships with people and treat people right, even in times of, maybe I might not be playing, I might be down in my form, but knowing that my coach has my back, and things will turn, times will change. And I think that leads me down to a road of sustained success over time, and that's what we're trying to build here. What we've done in 10 months or 9 months or 8 months or whatever it's been, has been a fast track program, like a super speed express, that's just been delivered overnight. And that's something to be cherished. Enjoy the moment. But we want to talk about this next year and be in the same position next year and the year after that. So, we're trying to build legacies here. We're trying to, leave this jersey in a better place than when we started. So, everyone has that frame of mind and everyone's pushing to the limit.
Next, go to Matt Baker.
Hey, Coach, a couple questions on your lineups. So, India Vassilev at the left back. He talked post-game.
Can I stop you there?
Yes.
Yeah, so there was never once any discussion of Indy being a left back. All right, so would you take it as Celio playing right back in the first half?
Sorry, can you say that again?
Would you take Celio playing right back in the first half?
I would take it. I thought he performed well.
No, but would you say it's a right back?
Right wing back, possibly, but I wouldn't say right back.
Correct. So Indiana Vassilev, same job description as he came in, right? So throughout his career, he's been a left attacking midfielder. The more we start to push the game, the more we see where we can. We knew Houston defend very compact through the middle of the field, So part of that game plan early on was, make sure we get out wide, and that's why Celio got into those spots that he did, and that's why Indy got into those spots that he did, right? So the game plan didn't change, just the personnel did, and maybe up the right side as opposed to the left side. We scored the goal coming from the left side, but nothing changed. So I would debunk that theory that Indy was our left back in those last couple of minutes.
That's fair. One more question. You talked a moment ago about the hunger and everybody was fighting, specifically mentioning the San Jose Toronto games. Would you say that you're looking for some stability as you finish out the season as far as a more regular 11 going into the playoffs, or is it still anything could happen any given week as far as personnel goes?
So if you were number 1 at match day 30, would you change your way going into playoffs?
Not if I didn't have a reason to.
You just answered your own question.
Fair enough, thank you.
Next, we'll go to John Lupo.
Thank you, John. Bradley, just two-part question. First of all, you mentioned City 2, and how important do you think it was while the franchise was preparing for this season for them to get some action last year and do as well as they did, sort of prepare those young players to, when you started the season, to come in and step in and be successful right away? And the second part is, you mentioned 24 goals from the three strikers this year. With Joao being out for so long, Nico has really stepped up and had an excellent season. Just, I feel like sometimes he's a little underrated nationally. We all know how well he can do, but what has impressed you the most about him? Do you think maybe he's learned from just watching Joao, just being around Joao? What do you think has been able to allow him to have as much success and score as many goals as he has?
I think for everyone, you know, we all came from different avenues and different pathways, and what did we do to arrive here, right? So, and once we get to here, and how I can get my career back on track, and you know, we know that Joe had a couple of appearances with the national team and scored a few goals, and then kind of fell away by the wayside, right? But the minute you get into a program that, you know, Klaus always wanted a home. Joe needed to progress and grow, you know, within a style of play, and use the weapons and the tools given to him. He's got natural abilities that no one has on our team, right? He's got a bit of flair, he's got a bit of creativity. There's something that's interesting, you know, to his game that attracted teams in France and playing in, you know, the first division, you know, Ligue 1 in France. So, you know, he definitely has the tools and the weapons. How it culminates and comes together, you know, that's been our job as coaches, as teammates, as a team, as a philosophy, and how we can get it all pieces of the puzzle coming together. So, you know, I think everyone's learning from each other, me included. So yeah, it's been a great process for everyone. Regards to City 2, I think you have to, you know, credit ownership group for giving us the platform to build. And I always spoke about when the lights are not on, right? When no one's watching, what are we doing behind the scenes? What are we creating? What is the identity? How are we going about building culture? What does the style of play look like? So, and we could try things, make mistakes, no one's looking. We could slowly chip away at the block, you know, before we get on to the first match day 2023. So, you know, and for sure we were able to get players here from Europe a little bit earlier than most expansion teams. So that has to be nurtured and garnered as well, and given credit to our fabulous ownership group who supported us from day one. So, you know, they bought into the plan of what we try to do here. Lutz executed it to perfection, and now we're running with it, right? So, yeah, I think a lot of people have to take that credit.
We'll wrap up with Tom.
You talked about the San Jose game and kind of a changing point. Akil Watts would be one of the guys that emerged from that game. And then you talked about in the Klaus answer about guys whose roles have changed. Jake is a guy whose role has changed after that game. Akil started playing more. Jake didn't play as much. How has Jake's game or role evolved over that time?
Yeah, well, first of all, Jake's an experienced customer in the league. He's an experienced player in the league. He knows that the games demand. He knows he comes here whether he's playing or not. He knows how he can help his teammates on and off the field, right? So, and by being a true example of how to be a pro, you know, that's one of Jake's best attributes. On the field of play, he makes sure he's athletic, he has a robust profile, he can win tackles, he can execute forward passes in our style of play. The goal we score comes from Jake's line-breaking pass into Joa, bounces it to Nokvi, and off we go. Then we're off to the races, right? So, you know, it's no secret. We look for verticality first and speed of play first, right? So, and Jake has that eye to see the forward pass and to calm it down if he has to. So, you know, but Jake's been a real trooper, and obviously we've all been challenged at many moments, and you know, everyone wants to play, but he's a real role model as a teammate on and off the field, and he pushes buttons. You know, he's in the room here with me, and he pushes buttons, right? He pushes us in training in a real positive way. He challenges me as a coach, as a referee in training, which is great banter, you know. So it belongs to part of the game. So he's a real person that you want to be around.
You guys have a chance. You're on the brink of clinching a playoff spot. Does that? I mean, you're probably going to be in regardless with the points you already have. But is that a big deal for you to have clinched that spot?
No, I mean, if playing a successful game and playing as controlling as we have for the last couple of games, I would say, even on the road, we've controlled terms. Results not wise, but terms. We've controlled terms. I think XGs have been really low in the last couple of games against us, right? So we've eliminated spaces given to the time what the opponent needs, right? So we've taken that all away. If it means that we play the next game in a successful manner and we get something at the end of the 90 minutes, and it's rewarded with a playoff clinch, then that so be it. But we'll let nature take its course. You know, what's meant to be will be, whether it's this game or the next. But yeah, we're playing for 3 points for sure.
Lucas Bartlett okay? He came after his shoulder yesterday with City too.
Yeah, he hurt his tendon in his shoulder or ligament in his shoulder. But yeah, I think it's a short-term thing. I don't think it's too long.
And Rasmus's situation is...
Rasmus should start progressing slowly.
Coach, thank you for joining us.
All right.
Appreciate your time.
Thank you.
Thanks, Coach.
Tom, go ahead.
Thank you, Jake.
Yeah. Yeah, man.
How do you feel about Saturday night in Houston?
Yeah, listen, it's a tough place to play. I think they have one of the best home records, in the league. It's a good team. They had some good spells of, attacking, and they're good on the ball. But I think to get a point away from home is very important. I think everyone knows, we've said it time and time again, how hard it is to achieve that on the road. I think we had to look at our last few away games, take some of the positives and the negatives, and hone in on those and see if we can get a result, and we were able to do that.
And now, taking that forward, LAFC showing up, defending champs, other top team in the West. How do you look at Wednesday's game and the importance of it?
Yeah, it's another home game for us. We need to capitalize on those. We have 3 of the 5 remaining are home games. It's another game on the list for us. Our last game that we played against them away, I thought for 72 minutes, it was a pretty good game, and then it got away from us a bit. We remember that, and we want to make sure we write that in front of our fans.
Obviously looking forward to the next game, but if I can just ask you about the goal you all scored in the previous game, and if you can think back to your touch, your pass, what's going through your mind at that moment as you advance the ball, and there's pressure, of course, with the clock ticking.
Yeah, I mean, that's from the time that I first came here, those kind of passes, that's what we were looking for. That's what Brad has been looking for. Those red zones, those, line-beating passes. So that's just always in my head. That's my first thought, as to how can I progress the ball to beat a line, to get us in, to get us out to the other side. So that's what I did.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Brad just said you were a button pusher. What's that mean to you?
I'm a bit of a button pusher. I don't think I think, in training, things get heated sometimes when I don't get a call. Maybe I shouldn't get a call, but I don't know. I still like to get mad. That's just who I am. I think we have a lot of guys like that. It's tough being a ref in our training sessions, I'll say that. I think a lot of our coaches have handed off the whistle a few times throughout the season because they couldn't handle it.
Does that involve an attitude?
From who? The players?
You.
Yeah,
As a button pusher.
Yeah, but a good kind of attitude, I would say, right? Yeah.
How's it been for you? You played, it was the first 12 games of the year you started
19.
in, pardon me?
19.
19?
Yeah.
I knew it was a big number.
Don't short me those 7.
I
Come on.
think somebody else was 12.
Yeah.
But what's it been like since you stopped being, in the lineup every day?
Yeah, I mean, I'll be honest. It's been tough, right? You want to play every game you can. The first 19 games, I was fortunate enough to play and to perform and to help the team. And then, a little bit of a switch came. The team was doing well. I just made sure that I was ready when my name was called, and that's all I can really do. I've seen a lot of guys in my career go negative ways, and I've seen how that's impacted them and their careers going forward, and I didn't want to do that. I don't think I have that in my nature. So I just made sure that I was trying to be as good a teammate as possible, and when Brad called my name to play, I was ready to go.
You looked like you had to feel good about how you played out there on Saturday against Houston?
Yeah, I think I had a pretty positive game. I thought defensively I was pretty sound. I don't think, my main target was Keone, so I don't think he did much. And then, just like we said before, it's, when I'm driving with the ball, I always look to play forward. I look to break those lines, and I think I was able to do that a few times in the game, so I'm happy with that.
We're going to go to John Lupo.
Thanks, John.
Jake, obviously this is a huge game. They're 6 points behind you in the standings, and you guys lost to them 3-0 the last time you played them. But now, obviously, having them at home, what do you think will be some of the keys? What do you think will be some of the differences that can maybe turn the result in your favor this time as opposed to when you went out there and played them the last time?
Yeah, I think this time is going to be different. We are at home, and I think we always have the, for what reason it is, we have that more of an edge, that more of a reason to, to go out in front of our fans and perform. And I think that, like I said, the first 72 minutes of that game, I thought we were we did pretty well. We defended well, we created a few chances. But this game, we're looking to get after them right away, and that's what we do at home. I think when teams come in here, I think at this point, they know what they're going to be going up against. I know that, the first 10 minutes, first 15 minutes, we come out flying. And hopefully we can do that. Hopefully we can, get ahead.
Next we go to Matt Baker.
Hey, Jake, you mentioned the first 19 games that you started, and it was the San Jose game that was kind of the start of Akil taking the right back spot. At the time, I think it was thought that it was more of a rotation, the 3 matches in 8 days type of a thing, and they just kind of ran with it because the team seemed to be successful. As you wait to get your opportunity or fight for your opportunity, do you feel like there's something specific being asked of you when your name is called?
I think, Akil and I have some different attributes to our game. I think he does very well to get forward in the attack. And I think I'm more, I've talked with Brad a lot. I'm seen more as a defensive player. And I think that's kind of what it was, last game. As you can see, we were building out in a 3, defending in a 4, where the wing backs come into play. So, that was something that was asked of me in this game. It was, to have my defensive responsibilities and for the build out to drive when I could. But listen, I think each game asks for different things, and I'll be ready when my name's called again. And I know Akil will be ready too. We learn from each other. We have a good relationship. There's no animosity there at all. And I think that's, a testament to our team. It's not just me and him. We're competing. Everyone's competing for playing time, for positions. And, to see that our locker room is still strong is great.
So how is the team feeling right now? You're coming off 3 road games in which you got 2 points. How is the team kind of psychoanalyze the team right now, Jake?
Right. Yeah. All right. Yeah. Let's with Brad right here next to me too. No. Listen, we have 5 games left, right? We're still in first place in the West. We have 3 home games. It's something that, we started the game, our season, 5 straight wins, right? So none of that means anything if we don't finish with 5 strong games. So we know that. We know that we have a chance to do something that an expansion team has never done, and we're excited about that. We play 5 teams that are all in playoff spots right now. So these games are going to feel like playoffs. So when we get to that point, we're going to be ready. So we're excited. We're excited to finally be back home. I think there's nothing like playing in CITYPARK. It has to be the best atmosphere in the league, and we're ready to go.